And welcome back to another episode of the SNG Experience. And you can see, I finally got some power supplies. And I've got Stargazer all lit up in the office here. And I just love this model. Thank you, Jeff, so much for sending me this wonderful, wonderful ship that I had so much fun building. It's really, really cool. Oh yes, and I got another power supply for this. I had one pop and blow out on me, and I just love this model too. And okay, well, we stand over here where the light's not so bright. There we go. Oh, that's a nice background, isn't it? I love that model. We are going to be working on the new project, the Wonder Experiences with Unknown Intelligences, this week, and the Enterprise, and a few other little odds and ends. But the big focus now is to get this series going that will be hosted by Whitley Strieber, who is an old friend of mine. And of course, you'll know him for The Hunger, The Wolven, and of course for most important and most famous of all, Communion, which is an incredible book. And this series is going to be about that very subject matter, and it's going to be monthly until we can really get it going. Then we might have it twice a month, I don't know, but 30 minutes, hosted by Whitley. It is not documentary or docudrama. It is actual dramatic story content based on one man's actual experiences with this subject matter, which is not called the usual things you hear it called, aliens, that kind of stuff, because we're being very honest to the actual science that has been done on this subject. And so it's going to be really a different approach than you've seen before. So you're going to see one of the creatures that I'm sculpting for it, little glimpses of that, and more work on the Enterprise. And then there's this, which is our Cooper. And I'm just showing you a little bit of this here. We're going to do more work on this next week, but I started getting the scribing for the wells in it, and she's getting really level and nice. And we're going to make a mold on this, and then we're going to, because it's still rough to me, and I really need to be able to firm this up really well. And the best way to do that is to make a mold, which is called a waste mold, a silicone mold, and we're going to pour it out of one material, and that'll be solid casting resin or a 2-part polyurethane. And then I'm going to retool that, because it'll be, it won't be a combination of primer and fiberglass cloth and foam underneath. So I'll have a real consistency to work on this with and get this just right. But you can see it's starting to really shape up quite well. So anyway, that's what we're doing this week. Let's get on with the show. The first thing I'm going to do is I've taken a little bit of styrene and mounted it to some styrene, and I'm going to pour what is called UltraCal 30, which is a very hard plaster, a tool stone, and place this pipe into it. I thought I had a wig head, but I didn't have a wig head. So what I did is I took a foam container box and sort of built it up, because what you want to do with I did a hot glue gun, and I cut and sliced, and it really doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. And I've taken away the wall here, as you can see, and we're getting real hard here, so we got a nice base, and this is a lot of great stuff for the clay to grab onto, which is what we want, because it's really smooth and nice and the clay wants to come off. So this is now going to have burlap put on it, and more UltraCal, and then once that all hardens up, I've got something really good to sculpt on. So here we go. We got a basic form to sculpt on. Now keep in mind that the shoulders are actually going to be about to here, the chin to there, and yeah. So it's a little off from what I want it to be, but it's on a Lazy Susan, which is good, so I can actually turn this when I'm sculpting on it, because it's pretty heavy. Over here in the spray booth, I painted up, I cut these two hemispheres so that we'd have some black eye forms to put into the sculpture, so that I can actually, I'll be using a set of these on the actual puppet. So you want to have those in there. Now these aren't terribly huge eyes. I was thinking about making them quite large, but then again, when you see them like that, they are quite large. I forgot to push the button on the camera, and I'm really sorry about that, but I built up some clay here. It really isn't too much to have missed. And I'm starting at the bottom. And bit by bit, that familiar face is popping out of this. But I have to get some more clay to keep going. You get the idea. And yes, my hand will be able to get in there and move this around just beautifully. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, that was all done by hand. It only took about, not even an hour. About 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes just to block this out. Get the basic shapes all by hand. This is without any sculpting tools at all. And I've got the clay all the way around. What we're going to do now is go in with some actual sculpting tools now and start shaping this up really nice. So back at it with some sculpting tools, and unfortunately one of my favorite tools is missing. Isn't that always the way? The big flat metal tool with saw teeth on it, which you use to smooth the clay down with. So I'm having to do this the hard way, which is really going to slow me down, darn it. So now I'm getting it wet. Anything that water-based clay loves is getting wet. And I'm taking a sponge, so they don't have that in the tool, and I'm getting it wet. I'm smoothing out all the saw teeth effects that are on it, getting it smooth. Be doing this for a while we get this shaped up, and then we'll be able to put some kind of detail in it. Well, I finally took it off the Lazy Susan. In fact, the Lazy Susan was only glued on. This is marble, and it was just glued on, and the glue came right off. So I obviously can't use that for something that heavy. However, we're to a point now where I just put a little bit of detail on the face. Not a lot yet. I need this to dry out a lot more, the clay, and I need that smoothing tool very badly. So I think it's just about done, although there's a few things I want to do still. This lighting really accents all the detail and texture I put in it, which really I want to be quite subtle, and so I'm going to probably brush down a certain amount of this. And here we go. You can see how beautifully smooth it really is. The shape of the head. We'll go around behind again. And we don't have the real contrasty light. It's really quite nice. You see some sponge texture stuff I need to fix, but other than that, it's really nice. So we are back. It's Monday, and we're back at the sculpture, and I did a lot more work on it on Saturday and put a lot more detail into it. So what's on it right now is some crystal clear Krylon, and this is to seal off the clay. I can touch it and nothing's going to happen to the clay, plus it comes out of the mold easier. So we're going to make a mold. So here we go. We got a basic parting line made out of clay with keys marked in it that we're going to use now to put UltraCal 30 on this, the same way I built the structure here. This hard stone, cast the front side of it, remove the clay, and do the back side. And this is the basis of how all creatures and monsters have been made for, I don't know, 50, 60 years or more. And it hasn't really changed, except that more people are doing it with CG, which is fine, but you know, there's nothing like having a real object on camera, under real lighting, in real conditions, with the actual talent to sell it. And Carl Soto is helping me, and we're trying to get this. Oh, we got a spot there, Carl. Shit, oh God. Just kidding. This is the first coat, and really the next coat is going to be with our burlap, which is over here, and we're going to soak that into some more stone, and we can't use that bucket. And once that's done, then it'll all get smoothed out, and we'll make the other side after it hardens. So Carl and I are making one hell of a mess here. There is no way to do this work and not make a mess, right, Carl? Right. Yep, so make a mess. But we've just about got the first side laid up. We've got all the burlap, which I guess we didn't show. So it's pretty hard. Didn't you think, Carl?
Hard as stone.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm going to show you now when you see this, because a lot of you are seeing this and you've never seen this kind of thing done before. That's why we use the clay. God, can I save that clay, Carl? Yeah. It's got some.
Steve, why don't you let Mary
so we're gonna just kind of pick the. All right, fine. Mary can hold the camera. There you go. But Mary's holding the camera now. You see how easily that clay comes away. If this is the sculpting clay, it would be sticking to this stone, which is why we use this stuff. Overflow there. That way.
Buster's still a little warm.
Oh yeah, that's okay. It's fine to pull this away. Trust me, kid, I've been doing this for years. So now, this has to cool a bit and finish its procedure it's going through. And then we're going to get rid of all this kind of stuff. And, wow, this is nice. And then Vaseline this edge, put in some clay along this edge, like little blocks like this, so that later we have cavities to put a tool into, which will enable us to work apart the two halves. No, ask me again.
What are you doing, Steve?
I'm putting Vaseline on the parting edge, so that, and some of this stuff here, which is basically Vaseline in a can. We're doing the other side, same deal here, nothing to see, everyone, move along. Anyway, yeah, it's the same deal. Do this all over again. This is a messy, hard, back-breaking kind of job to do, but somebody has to do it, right, Carl?
Yep. Okay, here we go.
Here's the burlap, and it's been pre-soaked, and we're just been putting it on. We forgot again, didn't we, Carl?
Yep.
Busy dudes. Making creatures here, important stuff. Somebody has to do it. And we didn't get much down here. I probably could use another piece for down there. Oh, well, so here we go. We're going to put on another piece here, and That should do it. What do you think, Carl? I think we've gone far enough with this.
Looks good.
I'm goofy from doing this. I'm tired, but we have the whole mold here, and this side's getting hard now. Is that hard, Carl?
Yep.
So we will open this up tomorrow and clean out the clay. The sculpture all gets destroyed. Excuse me. And there's no saving that, but we're going to have a nice mold that you'll be able to seal the detail in and everything. And we're going to pour rubber and foam rubber into this and make a nice soft puppet you can move all around. That will happen later this week. So we will come back tomorrow and open this up here live and on camera. So here we have our mold. It's been sitting overnight. It is really, really hard. And with a mold like this, you've got a lot of mass here. And you got a lot of mass here. You don't have a lot of mass here. And, you know, maybe I should have put, like Carl was saying, a board in here or something to reinforce it, but I didn't. In general, I have been successful with molds like that not breaking. As you can see down there, there's the communion mold. But this is a little thinner around the neck, so luckily I've got lots of pry points here to get in there and pry equally all the way around. First thing I'm going to do is a little trick that was shown to me by a very good mold maker a long time ago. When you do this, sends a shock wave that breaks the surface tension. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of wiggling it very slowly, taking my time. So far we have not broken the neck, and it's come out rather well. Now what I'm doing now is I've got wedges. You go around the other side now, you can show them. These aren't really wedges, but they're blocks, so that I don't drop this down on my fingers, and I can keep raising up in height slowly, so I don't crack the neck. Although there's a lot of burlap on there to keep that from happening. You want to make dang sure. There, now I'm pretty in the clear, and I think, oh, the whole front of it's coming out first. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Open very well. This back in here. And so here you see the mold all cleaned out, and I patched up all its had little bubbles here and there. As you saw, there was a big one right there. It's gone. Had one up here, it's gone. And this is all made out of the same material, and you can see it's already gotten hard. What I do is I take a bit of water like this, and I put a little mountain of the powder in there, and then I put the water down into the crevice, and real watery on this brush material, and let it drip down there till it fills it up, and then smooth it on the top and keep playing with it until it's hard and level. Now there were some problems in here where we had a little chip on the edge here. That's all gone. It's all back. So this will now produce something that looks really good again. And there we go. We got our mold. It's perfect. It's exactly what I need. The straps on it, you need to keep these molds together when they're still green, and green means that it's still wet. even though it's hard, there's a lot of moisture in there, and over the next few days, it will evaporate out. You can see we got a nice clean seam line, nice good tight fit all the way around as fast as this mold was made. It's not very pretty, but it's actually very functional, and that's what, and the head kind of got broken on the form, but I'm going to keep it in case I ever need it again. But this mold is great. It had no problems being opened. We had a few bubbles, but you know, they were easily repaired, so we're ready to go. So it's been an interesting week working on the being creature for our show. Over here, I am working on comm badges for our, you know, they start off like this, then I put the mask on them like that. That's dry already. And then I pop that off, and we have the badges you'll see over here, and we are shipping them out to our Patreon subscribers. And you know, we say it's a surprise comm badge, well, because besides the Next Generation, there were other versions of the comm badge. This one from the Time Ship, or the Time Police, I forget what they call it, the Temporal Police, that's right, from the Federation 300 years in the future. And so we are sending those out, and you're probably wondering about this. Jeff has informed me that he did send the decals and they should show up anytime. We're gonna put the decals on that and put it away back in the showroom with all the other beautiful models. And recently I finally got some new power supplies to try out, and these seem to work very, very well. So I got a bunch of those so I can finally light up the Stargazer. I've done so many models recently that I really sometimes don't remember. It's in the showroom, it's not lit up. I hooked up to a 9-volt battery, which lasted about a half hour. It's got so many lights in it, it just drained that sucker out right now. But with these are 9-volt. They are regulated power supplies, which means that when things are blinking off and on, they won't make the other lights blink, and give me a nice steady supply of voltage at 9 volts and 1000 milliamps. So that's really cool. Over here, we've got a Cochrane going out, and we've got a Spock bus going out, and let's see, slot car set. Yes, slot car set is really looking beautiful, and yes, I'm going to turn this into a slot car, which is going to be really, really cool. I mean, just imagine that thing going down the track, you know? Ah, it crashed. Anyway, but I will get to that. I still have to finish my slot car that I'm building from scratch. Over here in the Enterprise, we're going to do some more work on this tomorrow. Absolutely. We are only at Tuesday, so we got a lot of this week left. Oh, yes, and Elliot Brown, thank you, Elliot Brown, sent me some bubbles that are optically clear. So you guys stop saying, that thing's so unclear, and well, these are beautifully clear, and they're exactly the correct size, because Elliot's a brilliant guy and he can read a set of calibers. And you see they're very, very clear. They have some distortion to them, but they're not fuzzy. They're actually very, very clear to see through. So Elliot, thanks so much. Oh yes, I forgot something over here. Where are they? Ah, see this here? Yes, these are little tiny people. Little tiny people that are actually sitting down. So I'll be able to have one of these sitting in the captain's chair and some of the others sitting in the other chairs to be on the bridge. Thank you, Elliot. You saved me 2 boxes of them, and I have to trim off all the flash and clean them up under a magnifier, but they will work. So you'll notice here, boy, I have been having to grind away to make these windows thin enough. And this is how I did the lights, which I didn't show you before. These are hot glued on, and they go around in a pattern like this, and they very effectively light up the ones I want lit and leave the ones that shouldn't be lighted up dimmer. I don't want them to be just black like they were on the original model, like mine. So that's a little bit about what we've been doing today on Tuesday. Of course, yesterday was the mold making, which I showed you a little process of too. Cool, huh? And it's only Tuesday. Wow, I just got this in the mail just now. Haven't opened it yet. I was contacted by this gentleman, Daniel Wallace, who wrote this book. It's a forward by Dan Aykroyd and an introduction by Ivan Reitman, the director of the first Ghostbusters movie, and I think the best one ever done, which I had the pleasure to work on. And they interviewed me, and I contributed pictures to this, and I had no idea that they were going to do such a fancy. So as I was saying before, my internal memory ran out. I haven't opened this yet, and so I'm going to open it here. I'm going to pull the shrink wrap off of it, if I can, using my fingernail. I am going to open this, honestly. Don't you love shrink wrap? I know you all do. This video is worth it just watching me struggle with the shrink wrap, isn't it? I knew you'd think so. Just be glad that I didn't do it while wearing shorts. You can pan down and show them I'm not wearing shorts. It's open. This thing is beautiful. It's all embossed. The raised letters. And this is really nice. And I know you're all going to want to run out and get a copy of this, all you real Ghostbusters fans. There's Billy Bryan. That's his, of course, on the stage at Boss Films. I was there the day they were shooting this. This is full of all kinds of amazing drawings. I can see also it's covering the second picture as well. The original movie, the one I worked on. You know, I never even saw the second movie. Concept drawings. This is just full of all kinds of cool stuff. Somewhere in here will be pictures that they got from me. Let's see if we can find any of them. Great pictures of the actual suits and props. I know we're going to get there soon. Luckily I have a lot of internal memory. This book is amazing. A real book in your hands. You don't have to charge this up to look at it. Just amazing stuff. Stuff I haven't even seen. And I worked on the movie. Although I did see all the props and stuff. This is interesting. What's this? Oh, storyboards. Which I did see and work from. And these are copies of them. So it's a whole little booklet inside of storyboards, which is really cool. Look at that. Look at this for the Proton Pack. My goodness. Ghost Trap. These props, I gotta tell you, they look so good in person. And there's yours truly right there. And this picture I don't even have. Oh, they included pictures of I don't even have these pictures. They're showing one of the hands that didn't get used. This one was used, this one was not. I ended up making two of these and making them different. Pretty neat stuff. I mean, all through it there's little Easter eggs like that. Somewhere along the line here we'll get to some other. There's the crew shot with yours truly right there. Thank goodness I didn't end up in the split. There's Randy Cook, Steve Johnson's there somewhere. A whole bunch of my old friends, Stuart Ziff, Mark Wilson. You recognize him, don't you, Mary? Mm-hmm. And if you look on the edge, you see all these little things we were working on. That's, of course, Mark Siegel, who was just here. And, of course, the Ghost Lady in the beginning, which was the transformation head that Steve did. The Slimer. Lots of drawings of the Slimer. This is a really neat book, and it is really comprehensive. Oh, they even include one of the jail ghosts that were never used. They were going to have a scene where you looked inside the dispensary, and inside there was a jail, and that had all the ghosts that they were catching in the traps. And that was one of the first things they had me do. And of course, the wonderful Terror Dog that I also spent some time in and puppeteered in with the puppeteer director of. This is incredible. Thanks you guys so much for sending me a copy of it. Real proud to be part of this. Really proud. And I know you guys are all going to want to go out and get this book. Because I would have got it even if I wasn't included in it and had something to do with it, because it's that cool. Ghostbusters, who are you going to call? So, we are back working on the Enterprise this week. It's taken a machete and a guide to get here, but you can see that I've got another room put in there, which you can see inside. The windows are a little dusty, but the windows are all in, and it makes a difference when they are in. For one, it shows off, you know, how no matter how much I try, I cannot get them precise. So, but when we are back at a reasonable distance, they look really good. So, but it's nice to have the rooms in there. There'll be the feeling of some rooms in here, none in here because these are off, and I've decided to have the ones that were off actually be off, but they won't be. This one is off here. So basically what I'm going to do is black out the light there so that it's just a little dimmer here. And the same thing will be, there'll be a little bit of a light in there, but not much to give the feel. Same way at this side, which, you know, has the room in. So, but this is the side that we actually see the most, because this is the side that was made for you know, to be towards camera. So these will also, you can see that these are out. These two are pretty much out. Darken them down a little bit more to be like, and these are also pretty much out. They don't look like it here, but in person they do. So they'll be a little bit dimmer. The nice thing is too is that I have loose masks, so I can stick his mask in there, and I can do a little more cleanup around these without damaging the windows, and also, of course, paint it the actual hull color, which I have yet to do. The sensor is looking really good. I mean, the deflector looks great. So we'll do some more work on this tomorrow, and yeah, it's looking really nice. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this week's show. We certainly had a good time here, as always, at SNG, and I want to take this time. That's right, I want to take this time to thank all of our supporters who have been every week getting more and more on Patreon. And Patreon is a site that allows us, or allows you, to subscribe to SNG as a supporter, which gives you access to all our content, both the free content and the content that you have to pay to watch. Now, of course, when this new show that we're doing, The Wonder, with Whitley Strieber, airs, you will have to be a subscriber to Patreon to watch it, or you can go directly to VHX, where you actually can pay per view to watch the series. Now, this is going to be a very dramatic series and done very professionally with you know, high-end cameras, good sound, good score. I mean, this is the real deal. This is not what we did with Martians Attacks and other things. This is being done as professionally as anything you'd see on Netflix or on the big screen. So it's going to be a really slick show. So that will be, you'll pay a small price to watch that each episode, or you can become a member of Patreon, and as a subscriber, $3 or more, you get to watch all of our content. So many of you have done that. Mary and I so much appreciate it. This is not a site where you go and do donations. We are not taking donations. This is strictly you pay a subscription and you get content for your subscription. So thank you so much for all that, and thank you for all your support as always. You guys are wonderful. We love you a whole bunch, and we can't wait to see you again next week when we're going to have even more fun with all the stuff we do here.